This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, the Rivers State's government puts 200 people under surveillance for the Ebola virus disease. The Ebola Emergency Center assures that Nigeria can win the Ebola war. Liberians slum agog as Ebola quarantine is lifted. And Ukraine's president says that his country and Russia are close to a full-scale war.
And on business news tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria releases guidelines for operating financial holding companies in the banking sector.
For sports news, Diego Costa bags a brace as Chelsea overpower Everton in a 9-goal thriller to preserve their 100% record in the Premier League.
Continuing our coverage on curtailing the Ebola virus disease, the Rivers State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Samson Parker, says that the wife of Dr.Enemoah, who contracted the virus from the diplomat, has been confirmed positive and that she's undergoing treatment in an isolation center in Lagos. Dr. Parker, who spoke through a phone-in interview on our Saturday breakfast program, Sunrise, also confirmed that about 200 people are being quarantined in the state.
We are doing a very robust contact tracing, that it will be better for her to go to an already established center, so for us to focus more on contact tracing. We have lined up 200 after 200 persons still going. They are under surveillance. Any one of them that develops any form of ill health will be taken in and tested at the quarantine and the treatment center. The good news is that so far, none of them have been compensated. That warranty is taken in for quarantine and treatment. So we are still watching them, still quite early. And everything is on ground. What seems good is that everything is on ground. A lot of the personnel from Lagos are here, the WHO is here, CDC is here. We have the Margaret Griffin Foundation from USA here. So all the capable hands are here on ground. So it's possible that some other persons, it's not possible that some persons have moved out of the state. But that's why I said the contact tracing is robust and intensive here.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Incident Manager of the Ebola Emergency Center has reassured Nigerians that the country has what it takes to deal with the threat of the Ebola virus. Dr. Kayode Oguntimehin, who was a guest on our program Health Matters, believes that the Lagos experience has provided the framework for a well-structured medical team to tackle the virus, which has spread now to Port Harcourt. He also said that the disease is strictly human-to-human transition in Nigeria, as fruit bats, which are said to be the virus host, are not indigenous to the country.
I can assure you that we've had successes, really. We as of now, we have a full complement of doctors and nurses and pharmacists and health attendants to be able to manage a ward. So the good part about this is Lagos has given us the experience to have a structured team that is ready to go. And that's what's going to really stand us in good stead in Port Harcourt, because we now have people who are battle ready to do this. The best evidence has always said that they think the natural reservoir is a bat. But apparently in this environment, those bats are not indigenous to us. We've always had bats here, and we haven't had an Ebola illness. The first time we were going to have it somebody brought it from another country. So it's not as if it's endogenous in our bats or it's endogenous in our wild animals. So we need to make that distinction, right? But the question again is, it is not every bat that will have the virus, even if we decide that they are the reservoirs.
In a related story, parents, teachers and students have been reacting to the postponement of resumption dates of primary and secondary schools in the country. While they commended the efforts of the government in containing the spread of the virus, the Ebola virus, they, however, say it's going to affect the school calendar. Our correspondent W.H.O reports.
The death toll from the Ebola virus disease continues to rise in West African countries. But one measure, amongst others, taken by Nigerian government to contain the spread of the disease is to postpone the resumption date of public and private primary and secondary schools in the country.
All primary and secondary schools, both public and private throughout the Federation, are to remain closed until Monday, the 13th of October 2014.
Now, just before he made that announcement, schools were supposed to reopen on the second week of September for the 2014-2015 academic session. While public and private primary and secondary schools in Nigeria remains closed until 13th of October 2014, we went around to get reactions of school owners and students on the positive and negative effect of the postponement. The administrative department of some schools visited by Channels Television are operational. The head teachers tell us health and safety first, but did not fail to mention the effect the postponement will have on the school calendar.
Negatively, it's going to cut into weeks because it's going to affect the calendar of the school. However, health grounds, who wants to lose anybody? Nobody. And we don't want to lose our children.
We've had 6 weeks, the children have stayed home, and they are all looking forward to coming back to school, only for the news to come. So, first and foremost, it was just like a commotion. What are we going to do with our children? But I said, you know what, we need to calm down. Let's look at the advantages. Because once the virus starts to spread in schools, it's a big problem.
In the meantime, the schools appear not to be leaving anything to chance. Precautionary measures are being put in place.
We purchase hand sanitizers, dispensers, the temperature scanner, so that once our children are coming in, we are able to scan temperature to ensure that these children are healed and healthy before we allow them into premises.
The school has sent out information, the Trust Council has sent out information on how to curtail the spread of Ebola, how to get our children more hygienic.
For the parents, it's a mixed bag of reaction.
We are also bothered about this postponement of the resumption thing. But in as much as one wants the children to be safe and all that, it's also taxing on the parents at this time.
I believe that nothing will be too much to sacrifice, and nothing will be too much on the part of the government to, any form of measure to carry out, to check, put this into, to put a stop to this.
In all of these, the students also have their say.
I don't like the fact that the government said that I should stay at home because my school, they're going to start rushing me so that we can cover the whole curriculum for the term.
Well, I have mixed feelings, partly being that I want to stay at home and have more fun, and also I want to also go to school and learn new things for a better future.
The overall goal is the effective containment of the Ebola virus disease in Nigeria, and this is a task for everyone. W.H.O reporting for Channels Television News.
In the meantime, hopes of a breakthrough in the fight against the Ebola virus have been raised by the 100% successful treatment of monkeys that have the deadly disease. The experimental drug ZMapp cured the animals even when administered 5 days after infection while they were displaying severe symptoms. All 18 of the monkeys in question made complete recovery, in contrast to 3 other untreated monkeys that quickly fell seriously ill and died. 2 U.S. doctors given the drug ZMapp after they were infected with Ebola while working in Liberia subsequently recovered. But it is not known whether they were saved by the drug or were just lucky. About 45% of those infected in the current outbreak have survived without treatment. ZMapp is a blend of 3 laboratory-made antibodies designed to neutralize the virus. In part 2, after the break, Liberians slum agog as Ebola quarantine is lifted. Please stay with us.